Hey everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is another kit review. This time is the Fujimi Ferrari 430 challenge stradale, and it is one of the reissue model from Fujimi that have been reboxed in this beautiful box featuring a Ferrari red, like all the series from the Ferrari that they recently, I mean 10 years ago, they did. And I think it's the only honest problem for this type of kit. Inside of I mean the box, yes. And let's look what they give it inside. Inside they have a lot of parts, as typical from Fujimi. They are quite complete models. They feature very nice transparent parts. Right now I cannot see the windshield. Interior part, the lights. There is a lot of parts. Here it is, the main frame for the transparent parts, What to say about the model? The model is absolutely well done. And as I say, the only problem in my opinion is about the box, because to make it so tight and so low in the shape of the box, Fujimi this time made a little bit mess, because in my opinion the box should be a couple of centimeters taller than this. Why this? Because nearly all the models that I get, I have, I think 3 or 4 of these boxes, both this one and the black and the following one that they made even about the 430, they feature all the same problem, and they mean that the box bend the A pillar on the body shell, like here. This can be, for several modelers, a kind of issue. As you see, the plastic became a little whitened there. It's not a major issue for me, because I think quite easy, so just to cut, keep it straight, or simply remold it simply with the finger gently, because the plastic is quite thick in that point, so allow you to do such operation. But it's not nice to see. I mean, as you can see, visibly bended on the part, and this is just because of the lower roof of this box. If it's just a couple of centimeters and a little bit higher here, also just one side, also just the lower side without the graphical over, can be a solution for this nasty problem. I hate when this stuff happens, because it really makes it complicated to keep the line straight. It's very easy to mess up. I read many posts of models that simply go mad. Look how bad it is in that position. This always nearly happens with this type of box. Inside the model you have a very nice reproduction of the Challenge Stradale with decent chromed rims. They're not the best ever that you can find. The quality is never at the Tamiya level, but it's anyway really well done. They are chromed, despite you want to repaint them. They are quite looking okay. There is also the fire extinguisher inside, so all the configuration for the racer vehicle of this wonderful Ferrari. And inside you both have the seats, as you can see, the racing seats for the racing version, plus a complete roll cage of the racing version with bigger brakes, plus on the ordinary part of the body of the model, sorry, you also can find the ordinary part from the ordinary Stradale version. So you will have smaller brake rims, little different details. They of course include all the parts, because you miss the side skirt for the ordinary challenge body. This was not a real racer like the GT2 car was. This was mostly a street car modified for customer with the purpose of amateur racing, or club racing, so it was the lowest level of racing, but despite it, they had several very interesting liveries and the decals that can be used over this type of model. They are becoming quite rare model right now, I think, because the license from Fujimi about this model expired, so they are becoming really pricey right now, so it's not so easy to find them around at a very good price like I did back in time. I wanted to save this model nearly 10 years ago, when they was so common and nearly everybody had it in the collection. So a lot of models say, you know what, we don't need it any longer, we try to sell it cheap, and I think I bought this for 20 bucks, something like that. And it was anyway worth it, because anyway the model is, yes, not at the level of Tamiya, but the car is wonderful and fantastic. So when you finish it, the overall look is always taken by Fujimi, despite the Stradale version. And as you know, following my channel, I don't do usually street cars and so on. I usually make racers, so this was perfect compromise because you both have the complete cage. Of course, I indicated this model if you can have it in your station. You don't want to build like an ordinary stradale version as a donor kit to build up my GT2 version, my body for the GT2, because it's much more easy to work with. You have several parts like this one that is not so easy to take from a die-cast model or from another type of donor, so it's absolutely worth the effort to be used for such purpose. You see several parts too much for this tiny box, and the underfloor that should be modified if you do a pure racer, but this way is also absolutely really well done, plus the closure for the wheels. I don't remember if they feature a complete engine. I don't think so. It is anyway closer, so you just see the upper side of the motor. Yeah, I don't see any, and that's it. This was the reason why I switched in my model for the die-cast section, because I just took this part from an ordinary model and I made it by myself, so it was not so impossible to build it up, and anyway remains visible, but not so visible like a car that is completely opened in the real trunk. And that's it. This is a part that also in my racer you should not use. Instead, in the ordinary street version or the street club sport car, it is anyway present, so you have to use it. It's a lovely model. So Fujimi really did something extremely nice. Also the decal are really cool and printed in a very quality level. Ferrari Challenge, this was so famous, was a car I think from 2006 2007, but absolutely spot on with a typical livery from the early 2000s of this racer. So absolutely, plus a Japanese road plate, of course, to make it streetable. So the car is absolutely a must, absolutely uh, recommended, to take this model and to build it up like it is. Just as I said, the big issue ever that you will find here is about these tiny boxes. Always check if you can, if you find in a shop or you find in some expo, if the body is not too much bended, because if it is too much bended, like there, you see the bend there, this can be, and it's even worse than the racing model, because when for example, I had the same issue in the racing body of my NSX GT3, but being in racing was extremely easy to keep them straight because it was enough just to hit them a little with an air dryer. They return immediately in the straight position, so it's absolutely easy stuff. Instead, in a plastic model with an air dryer, you just risk to melt it even more because the plastic is much more sensitive and thinner than the resin that I use for my body. So be extremely careful in do such kind of operation. This said, absolutely worth it. Thanks for watching and see you in the next.